guys. Welcome back to the Holy Shiftball podcast, the show where we get real about raising your frequency and vibration, one cosmic giggle at a time. I'm Bethany, your energetic bestie, alongside my fabulous co-host, Sharon. Hi, Sharon.
Hey, Bethany, how are you?
Girl, doing well, doing well. Yeah, it's been an interesting week.
Well, from the sounds of things, you had a monumental holy shiftballs moment. So, can you tell us about that?
Oh my gosh, Sharon. My holy shiftball moment this week was I got to witness how fast sugar can go to shit.
What?
Yes, I was able to be a first responder to my father. Yes, I successfully administered the Heimlich maneuver and helped save his life. Absolutely wild, Sharon. Absolutely. One moment I'm just in life, kind of thriving and vibing. The next moment, I'm in the weeds. Absolutely just shout out to all of the first responders. It just blows my mind. Um, just the pure presence and energy in what it takes to save a person's life. But I can say that my heart valves are definitely clear and free and full. They're flowing at full capacity right now.
Well, shout out to you. Oh my God, kudos to you for keeping your head space, for staying calm, staying present, staying focused, and being able to save your father's life. Like, kudos to you. That's amazing, Bethany. Holy
Well,
shiftballs, baby. That was a moment.
yes, girl, it was. But how about you? What's going on in your world? What was your holy shit
Well,
balls moment?
I've had a few of them this week, but what I'm learning is to stay in the present moment. And, it sounds so peaceful until life actually happens. And then it takes the peace right the hell out of it. Because honestly, nothing tests your enlightenment more than trying to be present while things that you have no control over are falling apart. But the real magic of being present isn't about, um, meditating on a mountain and chanting, mantras and doing all that shit that we're led to believe. It's more like choosing just to breathe through the chaos, catching yourself spiraling and saying, no, 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 come back to here, to the now, be present. And being present doesn't mean life gets calmer. No, no. It means you get calmer while life continues to throw plot twists like it's writing the season finale of Beverly Hills Housewives. I mean, holy shit. And the real truth is that when you stay in the present moment, even the messy one, the confusing one, the why is this happening one, you stop fighting reality and you start handling it. Not because it's easy, not because it's the only, but not because it's easy, but it's because it's the only place your power actually exists. Power doesn't exist in yesterday, nor in tomorrow. It exists right in the here, right in the now. And that's presence. That's grounding. And honestly, some days that's enlightenment enough.
Wow, Sharon, that's pretty impactful. You know what, girl? Speaking of enlightenment, who do we have on the show today?
Well, speaking of speaking, we have that's a great question, Bethany. We have speaker Jill. You ever been told just stay positive when your whole life's on fire? Yeah, us too. And this week we have speaker Jill, a breast cancer survivor, artist, and truth teller who's calling BS on the toxic positivity. And I can't wait to have this conversation. Come on in, speaker Jill.
Hello, hello, hello. How are y'all
Hello.
today?
We are
Fabulous. And how are you?
I'm good, and thank you so much for having me on. I too am looking forward to this conversation.
awesome. So, Jill, describe for us and share with our audience, what was your holy shift ball moment that allowed you to shift your awareness and presence?
I, as you mentioned, am a breast cancer survivor. So, for not just myself, but many people, that tends to be the kind of shift in your reality. And the largest thing that happened was my diagnosis of it. And it was like this time of the year, And I live in Texas. So if you're aware, allergies start to kick in, and I'm very seasonal with the allergies. And I had purchased Claritin, which I live on, literally took one this morning, but I'd taken a Claritin. And I bought them from a different store of like this off-brand kind. Didn't think anything about it. Well, during this process, I start having panic attacks. I'm talking tapping my leg, couldn't sit still. And it sort of started off like, and I never had them before. It started off slow, and I had one at the office, and then I came home, and then they just escalated to the point that a couple weeks of this, I was bumming Xanax off of my friends. And, my life was stressful, but normal stressful. I had a kid. I was dating a guy too young for me. Things, life. And one day I went to reach for that Claritin that I had bought after this 2 weeks of panic attacks. And I'm like, oh, that's what it was. It was the off-brand Claritin. I must have had some weird side effect from it. Oh, phew, crisis averted, right? Yeah, no. It was like my body screaming at me, hey, look over here, you have cancer. Because after that epiphanal self-diagnosis moment, my shift that next morning rolled over, felt a lump, and the rest was history.
Wow.
Did your panic attacks end once you found the lump? Did that eradicate them?
No, it was the Xanax.
Oh, okay.
It was a way, I guess, and again, there's no greater, medical resource than Google MD, right? So I just assumed that, that I was just like overly stressed, getting older. Well, and I was turning, I was 40, and so I was like, okay, maybe I'm just not able to handle the stress like I used to. But no, it just, they kind of faded. And then within days was when I felt the lump. And I had lost my mother from it. So I completely panicked. And yeah. And then and handled the rest of it pretty much about the same.
Can you walk us through your healing journey from the awareness of the breast cancer to the diagnosis and to how you got to the most healed version of yourself today?
Oh, sure. And, and like you mentioned, I think earlier, so I am someone that speaks on toxic positivity. Okay. I believe that positivity is overrated. And I got to that mindset and that mantra from everything I went through. I guess the way it started is I was having a midlife-ish crisis, and I started dating this guy that was like a whole person that could drive younger than me, which was great at the time. But
Go Jill.
Yeah, it was great. Well, it was good. Well, it was good. But unfortunately, there's good with the bad. He ended up being kind of a crazy, psychotic, abusive alcoholic. But well, you get what you get. So that was what I was. Yeah, really, right? That's what I was dating. So that's who I was with when the panic attacks started. And of course, somebody of that age bracket's not really prepared or set up to deal with somebody going through breast cancer. So when I first I first realized what was happening, I called the doctor, and he came, he said, "Oh, come in. You're young. I'm sure you're fine." And I was like, okay, good news. I go in, and they scheduled me a mammogram and a sonogram. And there was like a 3-hour difference in between. And so I go in for the mammogram, and the radiologist person, whatever you call them, she's like, "Oh, you're young. I'm sure you're fine." I'm like, okay, that's too good. Oh, we're doing good. And she comes out after the mammogram, and she goes, "You're scheduled for a sonogram later today, right?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, you're here. Why don't we just go ahead and do that now?" And I swallow now, because that's when I knew. Because the hospitals and doctors do not do things, and they certainly don't reschedule to make your life easier. And I mean, I wanted to like sprint out of the hospital because I knew what was coming. And so that was kind of, that was the beginning of the journey. I used to have naturally curly, huge, big hair. And I remember kind of sitting in the doctor's office because I'd gone through surgery, had a mastectomy, and that was a whole other thing. But I remember going in for the chemo appointment, and I'm talking to the doctor. And the Peanuts character, the wah, 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 that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Like every third word I sort of heard. But I do remember him saying, well, maybe your hair will grow back in straight, because I was joking about how I always wanted straight hair and be careful what you wish for. So I said, yeah, I'm not that, lucky, right? But from the surgery, you kind of go through that, and then you look like, and I think one of y'all have kind of gone through this journey-ish. You look like an alien because you have all these tubes that's trying to drain all this gunk out of you, which they don't tell you about, on the little pink commercials, right? So I'm like, wandering around through that part. And then you go through the surgery. You really don't have any time to kind of get your head screwed on straight before you go through chemo. And I don't remember losing my hair. I know that I had permanently attached a bandana to my head for a long time until literally hair was growing out underneath it, because I just couldn't. It was like Linus with his blanket. I couldn't let it go. But during that whole journey, through the chemo and the crying and the yelling and the screaming and throwing stuff across the room and fighting with this, boyfriend, and my son was 10 at the time, and trying to be a mom and be present, like you were saying, I didn't realize that I was trying to push away toxic positivity the whole time. I didn't want people to tell me how strong I was. I wanted to ball up in a corner and cry. I didn't want people to tell me to fight like a girl. I'm a lover, not a fighter. It was all of the quintessential things that were happening to me that I'm like, I don't want that. I don't need that. And I fought my way through it without realizing that I was like, I don't want to hear it. Let me just kind of, cry and yell and scream at the universe, because that's the only way I knew how to deal. And I was back then, because this was 2006. The vernacular did not include the words gaslighting, love bombing, toxic positivity. All the things that I was going through with this guy at the same time I was going through cancer, I didn't have a word for it. So after the fact is when I started to go, oh, that's what that was. Oh, that's what he was doing. Oh, that all makes sense now. Once you have a name for it, it kind of helps you take ownership of it. And that's what I talk about.
Yeah.
As much as it sucked, you got to feel what you're going through.
So what would you say is the difference between encouragement and emotional bypassing?
The difference is listening to the person. Like if you're saying you're going to be okay, and you see that person's face go flat because they know you can't tell them that, that's the difference between you think you're saying something good. You think you're being encouraging, and they know that you just don't know what else to say. Be honest. Tell them how much it sucks. Tell them how, don't apologize. People are like, I'm so sorry. Why? You didn't give me cancer. You didn't, this isn't your fault. So there's so many terminologies that we have to realize. You know, when shit happens, you know, people wreck their car, or somebody passes away, or you get a bad, you know, like just something that's not going to kill you, but you get like some bad health thing. How many times have you said to somebody, well, at least it's not? All right. When you say the words at least to somebody, or at least you got through it, or at least you're going to live, and all these things, you have negated the entire process. You have taken away everything that they cried about, feared, worried about. So that's the difference, is that you think you're saying good things, like, oh, well, at least it's not that bad. It's just, there's a terminology of, there's a better way to say it. So instead of that, you can just say, I can't believe you got through that. Thank God, you know, or what. There's just, and it's hard. It's really, really hard.
So what does authentic resilience mean to you? Because that's a terminology that you like to use. What does authentic resilience mean?
It is. Authentic resilience means to own your moment. If you are having a bad day, you know, say, I'm probably not in a good place to go out with you right now. I don't know if we can cuss on here.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I'm having a shitty moment.
Our next segment's called Shift or Shit. So yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. So how about this? You know, have you ever, or has anybody ever told you, oh, if you just come out with us, you'll feel better?
Yeah.
Okay? No. Sometimes there's a reason that sad movies exist. There's a reason that you scream, cry through songs when you're going through a breakup and the thing. You have to get that out of you, because authentic resilience is like, don't waste resilience on the wrong thing. Don't put yourself in a position that you have to fix. So that's like, resilience is like, you're really trying to get better. You're really trying to work through whatever is wrong, right? But when you have done something and you're like, oh my God, I yelled at this person and now I got to fix it. You know, we'll work through our friendship. No, don't be a shitty friend. Try to be a good friend, and then you don't have to try to make it better. So I just think if you're honest and you tell people no, that's empowering. Resilience is when you are fighting things that need to be fought, and not making bad decisions and having to, you know, create something to fix it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, Jill, we're fixing to toss you some scenarios. This is the shift or shit segment. And we're going to toss you a few scenarios. You tell us if it's shit, if it's shift if it's aligned and expensive, and total shit if it's out of there. That's just, no, that doesn't even make sense. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the first one. All right. When your friend holds space instead of fixing you, is that a shit or shift?
That's a shift. Yeah. There's no greater friend that shows up with a bottle of wine and just lets you just vent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Jill, what about when a family member says, we don't talk about that? Is that shit or shift?
That's absolute shit. That is just trying to, that's not giving you a voice. That's taking away your opinion. And they're trying to, they think they're trying to keep the peace, but they're just making you keep shit inside that is eventually going to come out.
Yes. All right. When a workplace says we're all family, but won't let people feel things.
Okay. Well, that is the definition of most families. So yeah, that's the worst thing in the world. Screw that. No, that is just that. What's my? Oh, that's shit. Okay. Because no. I mean, I could go into a whole long drawn out thing. But you know what is awful is when I owned my escape room, which that's a whole other conversation for another time. And I had these kids that were working for me that I love and still hold dear to my heart. I did. I felt like they were family, and I had to stop myself from saying things like that. The worst thing a business can do for you is buy you pizza and give you, branded merch, because it's just a way for the, especially when they buy you that free lunch, that's just a way for them to keep you at your desk. So yeah, no, I don't buy that whole family work scenario crap.
Okay. All right. One more. Humor helps healing, but is laughing at your own meltdown a real breakthrough or just emotional shit wrapped in sarcasm?
Ooh. Okay. So, as somebody that laughs at myself, I think there's a fine line in all this toxic positivity shit. There's this teeny tiny line that some places are kind of, it's dusted away and you can kind of bounce back and forth. You can't hide what you're feeling with sarcasm, but sarcasm is very empowering. It's fun. But you've got to be able to know when it's appropriate. And there is clearly a lot of shit that I went through that I can go back and laugh at now. That was not funny at the time. That I was sarcastic about because I was angry. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a good one. A friend who says, I don't know what to say, but I'm here with you.
Oh, that 100%. That is the most honest, and that's the best thing you could ever say to anybody is, I don't know what to say, because who does? I mean, we really aren't built to deal with catastrophes and crises and loss and stress. And sometimes there just aren't words. So yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah. Just
again, show up with the wine. Yeah, again, with wine. That statement makes a lot better impact when you have wine and a sad movie. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Jill, thank you so much for coming on. This has been wonderful. We really enjoyed having you and the wisdom. And as Ron says, ice cream too. Make sure you bring the ice cream. Don't forget the ice cream. Good job,
and
Ron.
Jill, where if any one of our audience members would like to contact you, talk with you, what would be one place or several places that they can do that?
Oh, absolutely. So you can find me at Speaker Jill. Basically every social media there is out there. I also, if you want to reach out to me directly on my website, it is positivityisoverrated.com. Oh, I have a book. Can I show you my book cover?
Yes, absolutely.
I have a book. This is my Positivity is Overrated book, and that is on Amazon. And it has a way for you to work through things. There's sheets where I give you a prompt, and it's kind of 10 tips of a way for you to ditch toxic positivity and own your emotions. So I'm everywhere. Just look for me, and I would be glad to share what I know.
That's amazing, Jill. Thank you so much for being here today, and we hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you all. This is fun.
Take care. Wow. That was pretty enlightening. Toxic positivity. You be the judge. Are you do you agree with Jill? Do you want to take it a little bit deeper? What are your thoughts on toxic positivity?
I'm not here to say that's right or that's wrong. Just is. It's just for me, I'm with you on it with the presence and just showing up in that presence and allowing for whatever. Sometimes I feel like I can be overly positive, but you know what? This is my field. This is my frequency. This is what I choose to ooze out. So Sharon, who do we have on the show next week?
Next week we have Jacqueline Jerzak. She's a 2-time cancer survivor, speaker, and author of the book breaking the silence. She healed 2 completely different ways and is now bringing her perspective into other communities. She believes healing does not have to be cookie cutter. Life is meant to be lived, and we were born to have fun. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Well,
Yeah, Jackson should be a lot of fun.
amazing. Well, Sharon, until next time, and remember, when life kicks you in the balls, be sure to tune in to the Holy Shiftball podcast. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.